Dublin's FM104. It is the Strawberry Alarm Clock, and in studio is a comedian, a presenter, an author, and according to some begrudgers on Twitter, a good waste of a ticket.
Yeah, not a genuine fan apparently.
What were you doing there? Wicklow in the final early.
You deserve to be the All Ireland.
Is that why you're so hoarse?
What? Yeah, it was quite a shouty event. It was quite.
Were you shouting at that Twitter person?
I was, yeah. But not even before I arrived, I was roaring. I was sitting in a lounge in Heathrow shouting at somebody who begrudged me the ticket. Let's address the elephant in the room, he said. Let's address the elephant in the room, said Wayne from Dublin. That's a genuine fan, right? Like, this is my 10-year. Literally, I have a 10-year ticket. Whatever. And I go, they're in my seats. It's
all right for some, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's great, isn't it?
No reception with Dara O'Briain.
I didn't pay for those tickets.
Yeah, well, I pay for those tickets. My licensing, what?
They can't stick that on you.
Yeah. So I got that. Actually, most people were quite understanding of it all. But and also I think most people take it in the spirit, which is good to have somebody from Wicklow. But
is it stuff like that made you leave Ireland?
And be glad to be getting back on the plane.
Probably because in Britain they can't pin a thing exactly on me that will get under my skin as much as. Actually, you're not a genuine fan of this. 37 years I've been following the GAA. At what point do I earn the right? I remember walking out and some bloke, a child, or parents went jumping on the bandwagon. Played in this ground where you were a zygote.
There was a lot of that with the women's hockey a few weeks ago. I don't mean you.
We all jumped on that.
Yeah, but none of us were going. I have been following hockey
for 37 years.
I've been a hockey man now since the beginning of there was a hockey stadium in UCD when I was a student. We were walking past there many times, and that enables me to. Yeah, that's really weird. Like we all just get on board with somebody doing well. That's great.
World Cup, though. Come on, it's the dream that we win a World Cup.
The O'Donovan brothers made rowing more interesting.
They did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of World Cups, when you were in London, did you believe that football was coming home? Was that? So how do you react?
To be honest, I thought they sort of kept a lid in it fairly well.
Did they?
Yeah, there's a few scenes of them out in the streets and stamping on an ambulance. That wasn't particularly easy.
Well, that's not just. They do that everywhere. If you look at Paris, the streets of Paris, they're stamping on bus shelters.
Right. Okay.
Vans.
Yeah.
And anything they can get on top of.
Cut out the stamping on things, particularly things that may be required for an emergency medical services. That seems foolish. Yeah. But no, they sort of and they kind of crept up on them a bit, like whatever. I think there was a kind of sense of there wasn't the wailing and gnashing of teeth that there was when they think they might actually win this and then it gets taken away from them. They came up against the first really good team they played.
Yeah.
Belgium also, and they got bet by them. So there was I think they had a more realistic sense.
Okay, right.
I mean, the meme thing was getting a bit. But the ones
it's a very good song, though, isn't it? It's
catchy.
It's so catchy.
They did have Roy Keane.
At least whenever somebody posted a meme, they would put hashtag it's coming home, so you knew not to bother clicking on it because this is just okay, fine, I get it. At some point in the scene, somebody's going to it's coming home. So that song I can do without. But they sort of held it together a bit, and it was kind of weird to watch them. I think it was actually slightly disappointing. I was kind of going, I think you've got a chance here. I think you should start believing that. It's so much more fun to see them totally believe it and then it not work out.
The paddy's up for us. That's the thing. I was on board with England. It was good when they were playing. The games were better. They put on a better panel in RTE.
Oh, did
when
they?
England were playing?
Good.
Yeah.
All right, it was good.
No, he had his waistcoat and everything.
Yeah. Listen, I'm past in that kind of like wanting them. I mean, I remember that the fun of wanting them to do really bad, and when you're over there and when you've got loved ones there,
exactly,
it's very difficult to maintain that. Sit in the room. When they lost to Iceland, I had to step back from the group I was with and stand at the back of the room, and because I couldn't, because they were like genuine. I kept forgetting they were genuinely really upset about this. I had to step at the back and go, this is very, you can't see it, lads, but this is actually genuinely funny. This is amazing. And I can't point this out right now, but I'm just gonna step behind the couch while you're all there tearing your hair out like that. But yeah, it's difficult to. I don't think I'll ever. There's no point in that. I'm not wrapping a flag on myself, but I don't think I'll ever be able to go. Well, yeah, we had a great World Cup. We got to the semi-final like that.
That'd be weird.
But I find, but that would be. I think it would be strange.
I understand it'd be weird.
Yeah, but I still think, I got over my automatic enmity of it. Just because it was big, it was socially unhelpful to me to really like to be doing that. Like this.
The Voice of Reason. This tour is massive. Like I was looking at.
I'm only halfway through the bloody thing. We'll come back. We're back in September in Vicar, right? We'll do 5 more nights. That'll bring us to like 35 or something. And then another leg of UK. Then the European stuff starts, which is now Reykjavik and Tallinn and 3 nights in Oslo. Oh, I'm huge in Oslo. And Tromsø. There's a Northern Lights section of the tour where I'm playing Arctic Circle venues, just with the hope of seeing some Northern Lights while I'm up there as well.
Wow, of course,
but it's gone mad. Because DVDs are dead. Right. They're gone completely now at this stage. So it's all digital stuff, and the digital stuff gets everywhere.
Okay.
So it means that you can play Moscow and you can play New Zealand and Australia without doing any like telly as such. There you can play like Sydney Opera House and stuff like that, just on the back of clips and fragments of things that have appeared over the years. And
then chatting to the audience, is that accents isn't a problem?
Doesn't work in like, for example, in Norway and stuff like that. They've such immaculate English. It's absolutely fine.
Oh, cool.
I mean, I slowed down. I think but I slowed down for England anyway. I had to stop the show once in Norway because I hit a particular punchline and I went, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to stop there because the punchline there was
did nobody laugh?
Medieval soothsayer. I said, how do you, in your presumably 4th language, because they'll also speak Danish and Swedish, know the words medieval soothsayer? But like remarkable. They in another gig I said, well, lads, the word for that was constipated. It was the word in the joke. No, constipated, and a big laugh. And I said, really? Is the Norwegian word for constipated similar to the English word for constipated? And they're like, no, it's a forstuppelse. So forstuppelse, VAOR-STPPELSE, forstuppelse is the Norwegian word for constipated. Right. And that's the only Norwegian word I know.
Which sounds like stuffed up.
Yeah. I'm quite forstuppelse at the moment. Yeah. So it's remarkable. So it's weird. It's like a home gig. It's like a normal show. Yeah.
Fair play.
They're bizarre.
On the Northern Lights, a friend of mine has moved to Iceland and he's living there back and forth, and the Icelandic government give foreigners €60,000 spread across 12 months if you marry one of their women, because the gene pool in Iceland is so small.
Wow,
isn't that genius?
Yeah.
So you can marry any of the women, or they're just one woman that...
No. They're best looking kind.
Picture of some woman.
And they're all gorgeous.
Well, I'm sure, yeah, because the gene pool hasn't been, because it's remained beautifully. It's
working for them.
And Viking, and so I wasn't unaware of that. No, I think I'm at a stage in my life where that offer should be whispered to me rather than said. I'm not going to. I can't go home. Honey, great news! Our financial future is secured. Yeah, have you met Ingrid Ingridson? Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
but hang on, only men marrying women, not women marrying men.
I didn't get into the LGBT side of it. I don't know.
I'm sorry, but you said that they'll give me if I married an Icelandic woman. If my wife marries, if we split and then my wife marries an Icelandic man, does that also? Because it's the same.
No. I think because obviously the offer, like a lot of countries, the women are more alluring than men. So if you can bring guys, I presume.
Right. Okay.
I don't think it's the.
Okay, Grant. Yeah.
Although from his perspective,
is there gender imbalance? It's a small population.
It could be that. I think about 300,000 people, which is like for the whole country, which is.
But it's too good a fact to not have all the rest of the answers for, isn't it?
I feel it opens other questions up. You want to know more about this.
Well, you're the comedian. That's why I give you something. I pass it, and you go with it.
I will be in Reykjavik in February the 2nd or 3rd next year.
Well, there you go.
I will bring this up.
Good.
I will mention it, and if I find that it's not true, if they're literally looking, going, no, why would our government whore us out at foreigners? That is just direct.
60 grand a month.
We're like a progressive Scandinavian country. There's literally no reason.
Just ring him live.
60 a year over 12 months. 5 grand a month.
What have been some of the? I know you meet some amazing people in the audience and just get chatting to them. And they used to be the Milky Bar Kid or whatever. Have you had any recent ones?
We had a bloke in Vicar who was, and I was jumping through it quite quickly, and we had some kind of uninteresting chat about his job or whatever it's called, and I turned away basically because I was going to use it to jump back into the show, and then as I'm turning, he went, I also live on a boat, and I went, oh, okay, that's very interesting, like whatever, and then he went, I'm also the national paragliding champion. And we're going, you're kidding me. And the paragliding thing is when they put on a sort of a wing, bit like hang gliding, but more immersed in the wing. I think it's like you have more control. And you can do it for longer. And I said, well, how long? He said, I've done 110 kilometres in one jump. And I'm going, that's very much self-limiting in the country, I presume, because there's a point after 110 kilometres, really in any direction. Yeah. You have to come down because you're over beach, and then it just gets infinitely more dangerous. And so we had a whole thing about he drive down from Dublin where he lives to Tipperary. I don't know where in Tipperary, some mountain Tipperary. Goes up the mountain Tipperary, jumps off, glides back to Dublin.
Wow!
And then the following day gets the train back down to Tipperary, collects his car.
That's mad.
It's an insane thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the show ended with us doing his one-man play of, the things that strike him as he's doing. And it was just me lying prostrate on the floor, doing a monologue to the floor of the, I remember, and all the recollections and stuff like that. But it was just the setting it was just me lying flat, face down on the floor in a kind of a, crucifix position. He offered himself up. Which is almost even better.
That's a gift.
Yeah, it's a nice thing. What I love about Vicars, we get a lot of people in from abroad now.
Oh yeah,
we get because I bang on about Vicar Street and how great it is. Vicar. So people do a weekend of it, come over and see the stuff in Vicar, and it's kind of nice because you say, "Is anyone here?" And people go, "Yeah, we've come from Canada, we've come from Australia, we've come from wherever, we've come from Europe." To see the show here in this gig that you're constantly going on, and the room kind of goes. Yeah, we are.
Well, do you know what that might be?
Yeah.
On one of your DVDs, I don't know which one it was, you had your normal show, which is in London, I think, somewhere, and then you had a half an hour from Dublin.
Yeah.
And it looked like the biggest party ever. It looked like there was smoke and guns going off. It was like, I need to go to Vicar Street. It did look like a party. So
I have been on about it. It is quite a privilege of a room to do, actually. Yeah.
So that's on September.
Back in September. Yeah.
6th, 7th, 8th,
and the stuff is still interesting to me and exciting. I promise. Even though I speak of it in an exhausted way, and I think of it. I am willing to climb on that horse again and bang as if they were the first audience.
Yeah.
This how much is the extent that that I had a joke about the donuts and how God you're really into donuts in Dublin now. What's the donuts like? Thing. And then I think about how there was that place near O'Donoghue's up in Baggot Street or near Stephen's Green, which was donuts at the front and a post office at the back.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a joke about how the weird tension between the front of the shop and the back of the shop. Oh, we're the future. You're this year's pulled pork. I don't need your permission to send a letter. Look, I'm doing it on my phone. Look, send. And the two of them fighting, right? But in the times that I started doing that, the donut part has gone bust.
Yes, it has.
And the post office has won. And that's about how, you'll never beat the post office. On posts, with all these things, they write out all these trends. People always need envelopes. Yeah. People always need savings. And on post.
What's the latest one? There's the new one that's Eclairs. They've pimped up Eclairs like they were the way they're doing donuts. And it's like
give them a French name.
Yeah,
it must be that Dublin is exactly the right size for a thing to just hit big.
And then suddenly go,
And then suddenly go. It was like when they used to those milkshakes where you'd crushed entire chocolate bars.
It's still in Dundrum.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's like
burritos is the big thing now.
Burritos, of course, yeah. But then Belfast also has other places have gone big. Belfast, when in the last one we were there, was big on pop up. Everything was a pop up.
Okay,
it was all ribs and burgers. Just 3 years after everyone else did ribs and burgers, Belfast was the last hangout. All the ribs and burger places moved to Belfast for that last hurrah. And so
someone set up a tato, cheese and onion,
a crisp,
and sandwich on Grafton Street.
Oh, really? They didn't
just for a while.
But why? For a couple of days or something. That's right.
Why?
You're not only doing the stand-up, you've written a few books, but for kids now. So Beyond the Sky was the first one. Is that right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, that was our space book, and then we've gone small. We've another kids book. Again, 8 to 12-year-olds, but coming down into the invisible science of your everyday.
Now, Roald Dahl said that it was harder to write for children because they read it 50 times, and an adult will read a book once and then chuck it away. But a kid will read it 50 times.
It's what I find hard about it. You got to get it right.
Yeah,
this stuff has to be correct, and that has been the thing that actually, particularly when I'm drifting into sciences that I don't know very well,
okay,
out of physics and astronomy.
Yeah,
there's things that you don't want people going. It actually isn't that. That's a popular myth, and you go, oh God, have I just kept that kind of thing going? Like so that's the one that needs to be checked. I mean, like, you don't write a kids book or something without it. I don't just bang this out and they publish it. Like, there's teams, there's cartoonists comes in and designs coming in, and they fact check and we run through various things. But it's gone through any number of different filters of people going, well, you could say that, but also I think you're ignoring the fact that if there are other things, they're going, oh, okay, fine.
It's for kids.
Yeah, it's going, come on. They're like, you say that at the hormone, but it's more of a neurotransmitter. Fair enough. And but the worst, because I'm there, because I'm that background, I'm going, yes, fair enough. Okay. And it's not like I can't casually just let that slide.
No, yeah.
So I have to go, how can we do this without it being, because obviously the thing about that people presume with science is really exact and really bang and bang and bang. But actually a lot of it is, we think generally this is it, or generally this is the case. A lot of science is very kind of like 80% of the time this is bad. Yeah. Yes, your granny could smoke and live to be or whatever. I didn't think in the book, but so generally we know that this is a bad thing to do.
Right.
So it's in some ways a lot less absolute, and a lot more fuzzy in some ways to do. But saying that, but staying on the right side while retaining the fuzziness, while also giving the kids just takeaway of fun things. Yeah. That's a stranger balancing act than just making stuff up. And presumably no one will ever check you.
So was these the children's stories that your children wouldn't let you read to them, that you're able to express in this way, or
they've both gone through the first book. I've kept the other ones from them because I don't like, because I don't need the casual dismissal from my children of like, which I get anyway.
They're there already.
But comedians, we very rarely try our stuff on a 1-to-1 thing anyway. Yeah. Because your odds of getting a laugh 1-to-1 are much smaller than the odds of getting a laugh in front of 1,000 people. Like
that's a good point.
Yeah, and people don't go ha 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 when you tell them. They go.
That's grand.
Let's do that work. Yeah, so that's just demoralising. So no, I've learned to keep my stuff to myself. Okay. Around the house. Yeah.
When you are writing now compared to a few years ago, and you have to worry about the world, do you write differently? How does it affect you?
Worry about
just
the world?
The sensitivity in the world, or maybe a younger audience.
It does tailor what you do in terms of like just people taking outrage or offence. I think we're all a little bit more sensitive about stuff. Obviously, I'll do it a positive example rather than you'll not catch me going like, oh, it's so unfair that we can't say all the things we used to say. There was somebody tweeted a picture of Jeremy Clarkson's article on, it was like Sunday or Saturday, wasn't it? Because you wrote a piece going, oh, you talk to young people and they're so sensitive, they just accuse you of racism and get really upset. Like, and somebody wrote, right, what, as opposed to punching somebody because your steak wasn't made.
Was that you? Did you say that?
No, I didn't, but I wish I had. It was quite beautifully said. But for example, there was a tendency for speak about certain conditions, let's say, mental health conditions, let's say, and in a shorthand that we all had for them. So schizophrenia, we all thought of, well, that's a split personality. Yeah. That's an internal, people going, oh, it's like a dual personality thing. It's not, of course. Yeah. OCD is not people tidying. Epilepsy is not just people. Autism is not Rain Man. Epilepsy is not people just having fits. It's kind of, but you use those things as a shorthand within a joke, and they'd be a topper on a joke, like whatever. And all it takes is one letter from a parent going, we like your stuff, but my son has autism, or my daughter, and that was kind of that's actually what it is, like, and you kind of go, yeah, do you know what? I can write another joke.
Yeah. So you just leave it, and then
because it's actually this is not essential to the truth. This is wrong, and kind of it makes somebody feel uncomfortable. I have a kind of the Brits stopped saying paddy about the Irish. I had some moment where they all stopped saying paddy. And it's much nicer to be there because you don't hear paddy. Occasionally somebody weirdly from the building trade might say that. This kind of weird standout area, pockets of it, like where it pops up. But they don't say it. And so you kind of go, well, that was very good of them. So I don't think it's particularly difficult for us just to go, do you not like that? Yeah, okay, fair enough. I can find another thing to say. Yeah. I can always write another joke. It's grand. But it is, so I don't have as the automatic kind of because the effort to change what you're doing isn't so huge. Right. It's not like this is like whatever. Oh my God! If somebody said, "Oh, Leonardo, do you know what? I'm really offended by the sight of fingers touching. It's very you can totally repaint this ceiling." Like that's not what we're doing. Like we're just doing a gag. Like we can do a different gag. So I'm generally all right about this kind of stuff. Like whatever. I mean, I've no doubt there's something I would find myself at some point in the wrong side of history on something, or I'll be clumsy about something, or there'll be some heated debate about trans rights or something like that I will not know the terminology for, or say something or do something clumsy, or you'll find a clip of me on Mock the Week in 10 years back when tranny was a term that was casually used all the time, or something. Something like that will occur. It's grand, and I'll take it on the chin when it happens. Adam Hills is a funny routine where she just apologises. I have no idea what I'm pausing for, but at some point, and it's Adam Hills who's like, he does the last leg. You're going, at some point, I know I'm wrong about something, but and that'll happen. So I'm just saying this now. But it's okay. I'm grand with that moving. It's a much richer kind of community of people telling stories now as well. So I don't have a massive problem with it.
I know you have to go and catch a flight now in a second, but before you do, settle an argument first. You're on a flight and you want to put your chair back. Do you tell the person behind you you're putting your chair back, or do you just do it?
Or do you slowly just do it?
How long is the flight?
Transatlantic.
Oh, transatlantic, I think you can.
Just straight back?
I said on air, if you're going to Heathrow from Dublin or whatever, you shouldn't really. I don't even know if the chair does go back.
It does. The one in front of me doesn't.
Oh,
the one in front of me
get that private jet there.
My knees are often wedged up against it, and I'm on, because the people in front on the flight over for them. The nice lady in front of me didn't, probably because she could feel my knees pushing the seat forward, and they don't even try this. Don't even attempt to do this. They used to sell a thing like a small wedge that you could slide into the seat in front of you.
Oh,
that just sits in the bit where it would curl. It would
clever.
And the wedge stopped the seat going down. So people press the button and go, "Oh, the seat seems to be broken," and then you would discreetly.
I'm outraged. I demand a new seat.
But it was but for a 1 hour flight, there's a
So hang on. So across the Atlantic, or further,
just put it back
further east.
Yeah, I think you just
go for it.
It's kind of weird.
It's a disappointed face.
What do you do if they say no?
Yes, I suppose you left.
Yeah.
Plus, then you'll be Dara O'Briain soak his head around and ask me on our flight, and then it'll be on Twitter.
And you tickets.
Do you know what? Now
match.
I think I'm doing this right, and actually I should just go sorry, just in case they've got like a tray. This the other thing is a meal. They got stuff like they got.
I don't know.
No. Just in the cruise, everyone's fed.
You're on your way to Iceland for 60 grand.
For 60 grand.
We're all rubbing our thighs with excitement at the women. Icelandic women who are desperate for any. Yeah. We seem to have less agency in this situation. I
don't think that's settled the argument, but still, Dara O'Briain, it's great to see you. Vicar Street, September, bunch of dates over a couple of weekends.
Yes.
Good to see you.
It'll be a pleasure, and it's nice to be back in Dublin.
And
come on, Limerick.
Soon.
Yeah, it was great.
It's great.
But I will remember seeing, because I was sitting directly behind it, that ball at the very end slowly dropping down from the Joe Canning free in the 78th minute and going, this is going one or two ways, and people not being able to look around me. It's a genuinely astonishing thing. It was it's a glorious thing. The hurling, it's a fabulous thing. I mean, we should all be delighted with it. I know, the mood of, we've all moved on in Dublin, be all over the football, which is a desperate sport. But it's gone desperate. But the hurling, glorious.
Exciting stuff.
And I'm speaking as a genuine fan.
37 years.
37 years.
I'm glad you worked out the number.
Season ticket holder.
When do I start?
Yeah, I'm
coming over here, taking our seats.
Yeah, Jesus.
All right for you.
The West Brit. Why would I be there? Why would I be there for West Brit? That makes no sense. This is not. You haven't thought this through. There's not a cogent.
What does it say in your passport?
What does it say in my passport?
Irish.
It does, Oh no, I'm
right, leave him alone then.
Leave him alone.
Yeah,
leave him alone.
Do you want to hear that's even what West Brit means. West Brit is somebody here who affects British manners. I'm in Britain. West Brit means someone from Cornwall in Britain.
I'd love to go to Cornwall. It looks lovely.
Delightful Cornwall, and they have a strong sense of identity, and they have lovely pasties. So there's a lot to be said for the Cornish. They invented a type of food they could carry down the mines and eat with their hands.
So that's why.
That's why, So you can hold it with your dirty mining hand. You can hold a thick pastry with your dirty mining. It's meant to be a handle, and then you're nom.
So you're not meant to eat pastry.
And then there was a dessert one as well. You'd eat the nom potato thing one. I know way too much about this. But I went to the thing once. We did a 3 men in a boat go to Cornwall, so I know all about the pastry.
That's right.
Anyway.
You have Dara O'Briain on tape going nom.
Yeah, there's for your SoundCloud. Back when we did ringtones, we were a nom ringtone. Yes. That'll be the date. Gentlemen, I apologise. I've dragged this out too long.
It's your flight you're going to miss.
Yes, it is.
Good luck.
Okay, a pleasure.
Bye.
FM104. Dublin's hit music station.